live on a Tuesday night. Tuesday night is when everybody at the, not everybody, but there's a hotel in DC called the Trump Hotel, and the first of and the second, I think it's the first and the second of every month. The first and the second Tuesday of every month. People go to the Trump Hotel in Washington, D.C. to meet up and socialize, mostly Trump supporters, but there's also people who are going there to spy on Trump supporters. But regardless, it's always very popping at the Trump Hotel on Tuesday nights that are the first Tuesday and the second Tuesday of every month. And they're both, I think they're both different, but they started off as like the same thing. So I think that's how it is. We're recording on Anchor. We did not record an Anchor episode last night, Monday night, September 2nd, and that's because I didn't have it with me because I'm in an undisclosed location. But I have this with me today, and it's all gonna be good. Greetings and salutations. So, anyway, very important to me, and that is being frugal with my money. As people who spend time with me might notice, I can be very cheap, but then at other times I can be very, I splurge, and people are like, well, why are you being so cheap this time? And that other time, you had money and you spent it on this, but then this time you're acting all cheap. And it's like, well, there's a difference between acting cheap and acting frugal. There's a difference between there's a difference between not spending money that you have just for the sake of, you don't want to spend money, or spending too much money just because you don't care about your money, and being frugal, which is being very careful where your money is spent. Sometimes, saving up on certain things, spending very little on certain things so that you have enough to spend on other things that you really enjoy. Hey everybody, hello Diacritical. Diacritical is, but I have noticed that there aren't a lot of Twitchies lately. That's weird because normally there is like one or two Twitchies. Hey Felix, normally there's like one or two people on Twitch, but I don't see anybody on Twitch. So sad. I'm kidding. So anyway, yeah, this happens frequently where, and I just wanted to talk a little bit about what being frugal means. You can have a food budget, let's say, and spend let's say $25, not more than $25 every day on whatever food you get that day, but then suddenly go and buy yourself like a beautiful handbag. That's called being careful about your money. It doesn't mean when you buy a nice handbag, it doesn't mean that you are just buying nice things everywhere. Hey Diacritical. Diacritical's on Twitch. I've been really stressed out lately, if you guys haven't noticed. I've been just all over the place. If you notice on my live streams, I'm a little bit more timid. I don't know. It feels like I am. And just not really focused on myself, just not really focused in these live streams. Just all over, my mind is everywhere. And it's just, I don't know, just been really stressed out. Just really stressed out the past couple weeks or past couple days mostly, especially the past couple days. And it feels like everything in my life is just totally going in the air. Every day another problem pops up, and each one is like more intense than the previous one, and not even necessarily related, but just each day something else pops up that is another burden, another crazy thing, and it is nuts. And I'm constantly going from one place to another, and I don't know. I still come here and do these live streams because I really enjoy it, but like the rest of the time, if you see me this past couple days, I've just been like blank faced, like not able to focus, and not even willing. Like it's hard for me to even get up and walk somewhere because I'm just so emotionally exhausted. And I don't know how other people in this city do it, because there's so many different stresses, and well, this is part of growing up, and everybody has to deal with all this stress and anxiety and all these, everybody has to deal with these, I don't know. I can't deal with all this emotional stuff because it really just leeches at my psyche. Can't focus on anything. Anyway, Felix says frugality is rad. I hope one day pay cash for my house, but not in the UK. 1995 average house price is $55K. Today, $200K pounds. Hey, we've got another Twitchy. Gideon's Hornblower. Alright, Gideon's Hornblower. It says, is now hosting me. I don't know what that means, but I guess that's a Twitch thing. Repeal the cart seller says, life actually blows. I hate it. Yeah, like, it's not even like this all the time. I'm usually fine. I mean, not always, but like, this is just really, I don't know. This is just really awful. And like, I might live in a cloud because everything in my life has to be so perfect, and I'm just like, la-di-da-di-da-di-da. This is great. I got my friends, I got this and that, I got my live streams, I've got blah, blah, blah. But I can't deal with, and the thing is, like these stressors, it's not even like, oh, this is life, you have to deal with this as part of growing up. It's like, these stressors are like totally unnecessary stressors. Like, they're things that can be avoided and are not necessary, and just leech at you. It's not like, oh, I got married and had kids and that's like the thing that's stressing me out, and that's part of life. It's just, these things, you gotta do them. If you want to be married and have a kid or whatever, you gotta deal with the stress. It's like, no. These things, these stressors that I'm having right now are like totally unproductive, not a necessary part of life. They're just like stupid stressors that are leeching at my emotional well-being for absolutely no reason. Everybody is trying to guess where I am, but I'm not telling you. I am not telling you where I am. It is a secret. And actually, you probably won't know where I am for the next couple weeks. And that will be fine, because eventually I'm going to start making vlogs for you guys, so you'll know where I am all the time. But right now, I'm in a weird hideout mode. Gideon's Blower is asking for a clue. I am in a place where there's a reddish wall. There's a reddish wall and beige curtains, and there's like a picture frame on the wall of like just like the dumbest picture frame ever, with like a dumb picture of like, I don't even know, like Colin or something, some wall. Alright, Area 51. So I don't know if Area 51 is actually happening. I don't know if Area 51 Area 51. Let's see. It's still happening, it seems. And in fact, rural Nevada officials are worrying about the impact of Storm Area 51 visitors. Why are they worrying? This is according to NPR, and this is actually a very recent article, so it seems like it's still going on, in case anybody didn't know what Area 51 is. Area 51 is, I don't know why. It's basically the joke about the US government dealing with UFOs, okay? And extraterrestrial beings, aka aliens, in a desert part of Nevada, of rural Nevada called Rachel. It's a town in Nevada called Rachel. So random, in the middle of nowhere. It's like in a desert, okay? And so it was a joke, right? And then people on Facebook made an actual event out of it. We're gonna go and we're gonna go and raid Area 51. We're gonna, like, I don't know. We're gonna go and travel there and storm, you know. We're gonna go, like, storm the place. And it was totally started off as a joke. And it became a real thing where people were RSVPing, and eventually they made a website from it, and then bands started to, like music bands started to RSVP, and they're like, okay, it basically became like this huge festival, like Burning Man. And I actually was thinking about going, but, you know, I don't know if I want to go all the way there, all the way to the desert, and just, like, I don't know if it's worth it, but it looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. And in fact, so many people are planning to go that Nevada officials have decided that they're going to declare a state of emergency. I'm not kidding. They're going to declare a state of emergency. Apparently, there seems to be thousands and maybe millions of people hunting UFOs in that area. There's no room for them. There's no food, no water, no toilets. They're declaring a state of emergency to prepare for the expected influx of visitors in the nearby Lincoln County. The commission chairman, John Koenig, says, be prepared to not have cell service and not have internet, since the local cell phone towers were not equipped to handle such a heavy call volume. That place is like a desert, and suddenly there's going to be millions of people there. All right. Wow, I just got a notification. The death toll from U.S. East Coast. OMG, this looks scary. What's going on with Dorian? Let's see. It's moving away from South Florida. Yeah, I've been seeing pictures of my friends in Florida. They're just like, oh, getting ready for the storm and going nuts. It's hugging the Atlantic coastline in its northwest trek. National Hurricane Center is saying this at 10 p.m. I mean. It took parts of Florida's coast out of danger, diminished the threat to South Florida in the few hours of blustery weather. And it looks like South Florida is fine, but where is the hurricane going now? Wow, okay, South Carolina or North Carolina. Okay, that's why my friend Daniel Bostic, who's in South Carolina, his entire family is like, you know, they're like preparing. And so it really seems like they could be hit. It seems like everyone there is kind of preparing. So South Carolina, North Carolina, it won't be hitting Washington, D.C., it seems like. Maybe a tiny, tiny, tiny bit Virginia, but not really. Like the edge of Virginia, like Richmond or whatever. Not really. Norfolk, is that where it is? Is that Greenland? Does it look like it's gonna hit Greenland? Yeah, that's Greenland. So it's supposed to hit Greenland on Sunday. That's so random. But the stuff that's going on in the Bahamas, if you guys have checked it out, it's really crazy there. There's really crazy stuff. The Prodigal Champ says, what if there's no hurricane? What if it's just a psyop? By the way, if you guys are wondering where these comments are, they're across different platforms. So some are on Twitch, some are on Twitter. Some are on Periscope, which is basically Twitter, and some are on YouTube. So in case you're seeing me read a comment that you don't see, it's because it's on a different platform. And there isn't really a way for you to see all of them at the same time. There's a way for me to see all of them at the same time, but I don't think there's a way for you to see all of them at the same time. Okay. Every time I yawn, you're gonna yawn, so... Okay. A bunch of yawning. Get ready for a bunch of yawning. Someone is asking if I believe in UFOs. I believe that there's probably some sort of life in outer space, but I don't know if it's like aliens the way that we think of them, like 2 arms, 2 legs, a face, a mouth, 2 eyes. Like, I don't know, that's such an anthropocentric way of seeing beings, like that's like us projecting our way of being a living being onto like other parts of the world. Okay. All right. 12 ways to tell the difference between being frugal and being cheap. This is an article from wisebread.com by Mikey Vicky Rocks. All right. So guess what this is. Is this frugal or being cheap? Eating like a king and skimping on the tip. Going to a restaurant, buying a big dinner and enjoying it, and then not paying the tip. Is that being frugal, or this is being cheap? Cheap, cheap, cheap. You guys are right. Ding, ding, ding. Okay, next one. All right. Okay. What about getting a brand new set of underwear and sneakers and but not getting a lot, but just washing them? Is that being frugal or being cheap? Not getting a lot because you don't want to spend a lot. It's actually being frugal because according to this article, they compare it to getting it at a thrift shop. So instead of going to a thrift shop and buying like a bunch of different underwear and sneakers, it would be buying fewer, but then just washing them, but you're getting it new. So you're being wise about which one you're buying. Instead, you're focusing on quality instead of quantity. Frederick says depends on how much it costs to wash them. That's true. It's actually a good point. It probably would still be more expensive to buy like more underwear. Underwear can be expensive. Okay. What about paying for cheap meat that's in the clearance section versus not eating meat and spending more on the rest of your diet? Which one? Oh man, no, actually I read it wrong. Okay. Buying day-old clearance food versus freeganism. I didn't know what freeganism is. What is freeganism? Freeganism this is my first time seeing this word. Freeganism is the practice of eating discarded food, like food from trash cans and dumpsters. And it's like, because you're so cheap, you don't want to. But who does this? I mean, unless you're like homeless or like really, 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 really living in poverty, I mean, eating food from dumpster, that doesn't apply to most people's lives. Most people who are cheap, I mean, they're cheap in a different way. So that's cheap. Freeganism is cheap. And then in this article, it would be like, instead of doing that, just go and buy day-old clearance food. Okay, here's one. You get a gift from someone, and then you get a gift from someone for your birthday, and then it's your other friend's birthday, and so you take the same gift, and then you wrap it up, and you put a new sticker on it that says your friend's name, and then you take it to your friend's birthday. Is that frugal or cheap? Okay. Most people are saying cheap. Well, the other option would be if you don't want to spend money, the other option would be actually to make a homemade gift that means something to your friend. Make a homemade gift. You can make like a little video saying happy birthday. You can draw a picture of them. You can something that shows something thoughtful. You can write them a letter. Something that is personal and thoughtful that does not cost anything but has quality to it. So you're saving money, but you're not re-gifting some arbitrary gift. Okay. According to this article, being frugal is being resourceful and savvy about how you spend your money, whereas being cheap is trying to cut corners to the detriment of yourself or others just so you don't have to spend money. Okay. Here's another one. In order to make most of your liquid soap and shampoo, and you don't want to spend so much on liquid soap and shampoo. You take your liquid soap and your shampoo and you water it down. You just dilute it with a ton of water so it looks like you have a lot more. Is that being frugal or being cheap? Frugal or cheap? Watering down your liquid soap and shampoo to make it seem like more. Frugal or cheap? Everybody is getting it wrong. Everybody is saying frugal. But according to this article, the answer is cheap. Because if you're frugal, instead of watering down all your liquid soap and shampoo and making it useless, you would actually go and find the cheapest soap and shampoo that you can find and buy them in bulk and get coupons. Sorry. Another thing example they give: buying inexpensive permanent dishes versus rewashing plasticware. I did not write this article. I'm using examples from Mickey Mickey Rox's article on Wise Bread. Wise Bread, living large on a small budget. You can live large on a small budget. Every day, instead of having a Starbucks drink or coffee, or instead of what if you took like an Uber to work every day? Most people don't do this, but what if you took you take a metro to your work every day, and your work is not far from where you live. You could either walk there or you can bike there or something, and you don't have to spend on the metro. I don't know about where you live, but in Washington, D.C., the metro is very expensive. So basically, save up on the metro. So let's say every day you spent like $8 on the metro. And that means $8 on the metro, and we will only count weekdays, even though it's going to be even more than that. But let's say it was just weekdays. You got $8 on the metro. Let's see. How many days in a week? How many days in a week? 20. So $160. I don't know, but that's just in 8 days. That's just in the weekdays. Let's see if it was every day. Every day for almost a month. 224. So you're paying $224 every month just on the metro, when you can be either walking or biking, if that was an option for you. So instead, you could save the money that you would have spent on the metro. Instead of going, you could walk the extra few blocks, maybe a mile or something, and save the water. Why did I say water? Save the money that you would have spent on the metro, and use that to splurge on something that you would never have been able to afford otherwise. Let's say you splurge on, I don't know, you wanted to buy this really cool, I don't know, what's $224? What if you just wanted to spend on a flight and travel somewhere? That'd be cool. Travel somewhere, $220. Like, there are so many places you can travel to with $220. That'd be a good idea. You can spend it on like this really cool speaker. What is this? Tribit Boom Max. I don't know if this is $224, but you can spend it on something that's your friends will see and they'll be like, wow, how do you have that much money? And you'll be like, I don't. I'm just frugal. I just save where I need to so that I can spend it on things I like. Let's see what other examples are given here. I'm probably going to end a little early tonight just because, for undisclosed reasons, I am so tight on time, and I will not be sleeping a wink. Probably won't be sleeping this whole week, but so I will have to go soon. But I'll be here every day, no matter what. All right. Next examples. Paying for a trial online dating subscription versus trying to trick the system by distorting your contact information. I like tricking the system. By the way, here's another thing. Trick the system, that's good. That's, Darwin's law. Or whatever it's called. By the way, like, if you don't take advantage of credit cards, I definitely recommend it. There are so many really cool credit cards with great benefits that I would highly recommend taking advantage of. Capital One Venture cards. I think it's $95 for the. I think it's free for the first year. The annual the annual fee is free. And when you first sign up, the first 3 months, they give you like 50,000 points, which comes out to like $700, and of miles, which is amazing. And you get it only if you spend like $3,000 in the first 3 months. But a lot of people do end up spending that much. If you don't, then there are ways to do it. I personally will ask my sister if she could spend on my card, and then she can Venmo me the money. Just 'cause like I want to be able to use the points, even if I don't use that much money per month on that credit card. So basically, trying to benefit from credit cards, I think that's a great way to make money, and it's like you're not really even, I don't know, people don't like to do it, but I think it's great. It's a great way to get these little perks of it's just free money. Why wouldn't you take free money? Felix says, what interest rates do you Yanks pay on credit cards? I like to pay off my bills right away. I don't wait. I pay everything off like immediately because I don't want to risk having to pay interest. I don't want to, and the interest, I've got high APR on all my accounts, and it's really annoying, and I should be calling them and asking them to lower it, but ultimately it doesn't really matter for me because I pay my bills like right away. I pay my credit card bills right away. So I don't even wait till like the due date. Heartbreak Papa says, the trick to have 3 wives and be a stay-at-home dad. The trick is to have 3 wives and be a stay-at-home dad. Gotta love the feminist. Haha. Prodigal Champ says, because Jewish folks don't like debt. I don't like debt. I don't know about you. Alright. Diacritical says, I pay every month. I refuse to work for a credit card company. That's true. Yeah, these banks, like, they really try to leech off people. There's just so many fees and so many unnecessary things involved, and it's just like, I have a friend who will, like, these credit cards that are like, the first month is free and the first year is free, and then every year after that you pay like $95. I have a friend who will open up the account, benefit from it, take the $700 in mileage points, and then close the account before the end of the year so he doesn't have to pay the fee. And I don't know, I'm on the fence on that. I don't know, because it does, you do get a strike on your account that says you closed an account, but on the other hand, maybe, I don't know, maybe it's worth it? I don't know, I'm like undecided on that. But there are also credit cards that just give you free money when you open. It's just free, here's a free $100 to start off, $250. Chase Bank has, they give you like, I think it's Chase Bank. Yeah, Chase Bank, you get $600 if you open up a checking and savings account, provided that you have a certain amount of money in those accounts to start off with. Which, I don't know. I don't want to risk the fee of not having money in the accounts, so I just didn't do it. But what else is there? Chase Sapphire is really the best. Chase Sapphire is the best card. My credit score right now is really awful because there was an internet bill that I didn't pay off from like years ago, and I don't know. I thought I did, like I totally forgot about it. I thought I'd fixed it, and then I totally forgot about it because they don't send emails. They send like stuff to your mail. So, and I moved a bunch, so I was getting different mail, and I just throw everything out. But yeah, they sent it to collection agency, and now I've got that strike on my credit report, and it was a bad strike. Like, it took me down a lot, majorly. And so now I'm like trying to recover from that. Plus, I had a bunch of hard inquiries because I had opened up, I had opened up a card, I had applied for another card, and I also applied for higher credit on one of my existing cards, higher credit limits. So just everything at once, but I'm not too worried because the latest card that I got approved for was for a nice chunk of, a nice high credit limit. So I'm hoping that after a while, hoping that in the near future, it will bump my score back up because my credit card payments are squeaky clean. So I'm hoping that will be the saving grace. Wrigley Puff says, I had a huge strike from mortgage fraud in my name. Oh, that's awful. That's awful. I'm so terrified of identity theft. Diacritical says, it will go away in a few years. You can recover. About my credit score. Yeah, I'm hoping it goes back up soon. I'm not, so I've had really bad credit in the past, and I've gone up I had really bad credit, and I went up about 200 points from that in a very short amount of time. And so that's why I'm not crazy worried, because I know that it goes back up, especially for someone like me that doesn't have a big credit history. So it can move with the wind a lot. It's still kind of shaky and not like an established type of credit. So I'm hoping that it won't take too long. And also I've got student loans. So student loans kind of contribute to that. With student loans, you're just perpetually in debt. And I pay my student loan bill back like every month. And even though I'm still in school, but I have a system, I already have a system set up where I'm paying back just because I want it to be in like the routine of paying back my credit card bills, my school debt. Prodigal Champ says, I wish I had the time to get bad credit. I should get into journalism. I mean, I got bad credit because I missed a bill. I mean, that's not like oh, haha, I mean, that's like not paying attention, just not paying attention. AOC Parody says, turns out the person was using a card that wasn't his. The name on the card was Debbie. I'm trying to remember if anyone used my credit card. I feel like across my accounts, there's just so little in each account. Like, my money is kind of spread out everywhere, so I have so little in each place that if someone wanted to, people wouldn't go after my accounts because it's just like so little. So like if they would just have to go find each one, and they would just get like very little money in each one. And I think that's good because you want to diversify. It's not even like an investment, it's literally just having money in an account. It's not like I'm investing in a bunch of different places. They say diversify your investments, but for me, a lot of it is also like a security thing. I'm just always worried about like, oh no, like what if this account doesn't work out? What if I lose money in this account? What if someone steals this or that? So at least I've got a little bit in each area. And in addition to that, I'm also just trying to make money off these banks because they give like all these rewards. Banks make so much money off of us. Why shouldn't we make money off of them? So I've got like a whole plan with my credit cards. Diacritical says I got rid of my debt over a couple years with the principal plus 2 interest method. I don't know what principal plus 2 interest is. That sounds interesting. Alright. Yeah. I know a guy who doesn't even use any sort of credit card. He just pays with cash everywhere he goes. And I don't know why he does that. Maybe he was involved in some sort of suspicious activity and he doesn't want people to know that he's spending. He doesn't want the government to know he's spending, but I don't know. Maybe it was. He says he just doesn't, I mean, that's like the Dave Ramsey thing actually. Maybe that's why he does that. Dave Ramsey, you know, you don't just not ever being in debt. You don't want to ever be in debt. So with cash, you're just never in debt. You just pay for things and then that's it. Okay. All right, everybody. It's great talking to you. I'm gonna leave early tonight because gotta take care of some things. But it's always a pleasure. And if you want to see some more videos, go and check out my TikTok. And I also post my TikTok videos and my Instagram stories. So go and check out my Instagram story. I think you'll like it. You'll see my Instagram link is on my Twitter page. You'll see it on my YouTube page, descriptions. And yeah, I hope you enjoy. Good night, Nate. Nate, we'll see you tomorrow night. And Liberty News is asking if I have any crypto. I've got Bitcoin. Got some Bitcoin. Not a lot. Alright. Have a good night, everybody. See you tomorrow night. Like and share. I mean, actually, you don't have to share. Like and subscribe. Subscribe. That's it.